Now, I will present to you about the finding of our discussion on case study number 4, which is margin call. Let's start with the findings of question number 2. Explain the ethical dilemmas depicted by the main character, Sam Rogers, John Talt, Jared Cohen, and Eric Dale. Explain the conflict-based resolution principles and the ethical theories and reasoning that explain the action of each character. Sam Rogers. Sam Rogers is the head of sales and trading floor. He is responsible for the people who involved in the sales and trading. However, he faced an ethical dilemma whether to follow and carry out Talt's idea of selling off the worthless asset. Roger knows that by doing so, the firm will lose the client's trust, but he's still going for the plan because he's concerned about the other employees of the firm. At here, Roger facing a conflict whether to choose between the individual or the community. Based on the right theory, Roger's decisions to follow Talt's plan is unethical due to the fact that he did not respect the stockholder right as a whole. He did once for the employees' right, but he seems to neglect the right of other stakeholders. Besides, based on the Golden Rule principle, which focuses on the good of actor, he seems to have a good behavior himself. It is because he's shown that he should done his job with integrity rather than following Talt's idea. But at the critical situation, he finally hesitantly followed the plan, and it is still considered as unethical matter. Jared Cohen. Jared Cohen is one of the top-ranked managers in the firm. In the event the firm facing a critical situation that the firm is in possible collapse soon. Conflict faced by Cohen is that he has to decide the best strategy to solve the matter. In addition, he needs to choose whereby for individual interests or the community. In fact, he proposed to immediately unload all the prospect asset by selling it. He alerted that his action will hurt the market for years, yet he did not change his mind because he believed it is a rigid thing to do for the interests of the firm. His action is rather selfish without considering the other stakeholders' effect. There is utilitarian concept. Cohen's action is unethical because his action did not give any advantage to others. He ignored the other stakeholders just to maintain the sustainability of the firm. Based on Kohlberg's third stage of moral development, Cohen's action seen as the best interest of the firm, but it is still unethical. Next is John Talt. John Talt is the CEO of the firm, and he is responsible person for the decisive action to be taken for the important matter related to the firm. He faced a conflict where he has to deal with the historical volatility issue raised by Peter Sullivan. As a CEO, he is forced to pull the trigger on that particular matter. The action taken by Talt is simply sell all the worthless assets as suggested by Cohen based on the conflict. Talt have to choose whether short-term or long-term effect. This decision somehow will affect the investment in the future. Based on the movie, John chose the short-termism while put away other future consequences. According to justice theory, it is unethical where the distribution of benefit and risk is unfair to others. Furthermore, his action is deemed to follow the end best principle by focusing the consequences of that particular action rather than the rule best principle, which focus on the mean than the outcome. The last role to be explained is Eric Dale. Eric Dale is the former head of the risk. He is facing the ethical dilemma where he has been called to come back to the firm during the critical time. It is because the firm afraid of the possibility of Eric will reveal what actually happened in the firm. Although Eric rejected the offer for the first time, he finally agreed after being threatened of heavy severance if he refused, and he also being offered to be paid by a very big amount per hour if he stays. In this situation, we can describe Eric is facing a conflict in which he needs to choose between the truth or loyalty. At the end, we can see that Eric has chosen the loyalty to the firm rather than revealing the truth to the public. As on the end-based principle, which focuses on the consequences of an action, it can be seen that Eric is neglecting the other stakeholder interests, especially the public, from knowing the truth. In addition, his decision by taking the money offered by John Talt can be best described as Kohlberg's second stage of moral development, whereby he is satisfying his own need. In fact, he put his own interest. Therefore, he is not ethical for his action in this situation.
From Margin Call movie, the character that have those kind of CSR has St. Rogers, which is cast by Kevin Spacey as one of the important people of the company, which is the head of sales and trading, and also can be called as floor manager at a financial institution. This kind of characteristic that related or concerned with the corporate social responsibility can be seen through the character as when he still concerned with the employees in the company, which shows in the part of when he gave short briefing that to give support and explain the cause of the action taken and going to be honest with the employee after the unfortunate employee being laid off of the company, even though he had really hard situation during that time, which is to accept the company decision to lay off some employees, and also the bad decision about the dog, which is about dying with cancer. Besides that, Eric Dale as former head of risk management also a character that concerned about corporate social responsibility when he chose to be one of the employees that been laid off. He is still thinking about the halfway of unfinished important project, which is he also had once one of the senior risk analysts, which is Peter, to be careful because he knows what really going on in the company. Other than that, other than those two characters, there is one more character that concerns those corporate social responsibility, which is Peter Sullivan as senior risk analyst, who the one that Dell passed the halfway project when after he found it, is immediately informing the related person that involved with the halfway project led by Dell. Instead of silently knew the truth, he revealed everything which is not pleased by the CEO and also two other persons who involved with.
Corporate governance is the system of rules, practices, and processes by which a company is directed and controlled. Corporate governance essentially involves balancing the interests of a company's many stakeholders such as shareholders, management, customers, suppliers, financial governance, and community. Besides that, governance structures and principles identify the distribution of rights and responsibility among different participants in the corporation such as board of directors, manager, shareholders, creditors, auditors, regulators, and other stakeholders include the rules and procedures for making decisions in corporate affairs. Based on the movie, the corporate governance play their role in balancing the interests of the company's stakeholders. It also identifies the distribution of rights and responsibilities among different participants in the corporation. For an instance, as a CEO, John Toole played his responsibility to ensure the survival of the bank. He explained and pursued the board and senior traders to authorize and support the fire sale, providing a number of rationalization to other than telling why it is the right thing to do. Furthermore, Sam Roger, the head of trading floor, after knowing the problem that their company faced, he decided to ask his employees that work under him to sell as many assets they have in order to ensure the company back to normal. Sarah Robertson, played by Demi Moore as Chief Risk Management Officer, showed good corporate governance to the company. Sarah, especially since the financial crisis, she is included in strategic discussion about the firm's future or invited to discuss potential risks inherent in the plan. She will ensure that the decision making made by the board of directors are right.
The last question is, if you were Peter Sullivan, would you A. make the same career decision from physics to investment banking, B. inform someone about your findings in the findings, and C. accept the promotion at the end of the movie? A. In my opinion, I will not make the same career decisions from physics to investment banking because it does not related to my study. In addition, it takes time for me to learn or to get something that is not related to my study. Perhaps I could improve my performance in my first career. Besides, I might not easily get comfortable by the nature of work when I change my career, since I have to learn different kind of things and need to get comfortable with the new environment at the same time. Lastly, if I want to change my career, I would rather go for another career that at least related to my professions. B. In my opinion, I shall disclose whatever I think is related to the company, as it is my responsibility as a risk analyst to reveal the findings. Besides, being honest is good, which can keep me out of trouble and free of fear. C. In my opinion, I will reject the promotion at the end of the movie, even I might get a chance to move out. Because the company is facing a lot of problems. The company experiencing losses, and the same meaning it will lead to bankruptcy. When it comes to bankruptcy, employees might not receive his or her payments. Employers have to decrease or fire some of the workers.